All right. All right. All right. All right. I can take a hint. We'll have one more round. This one's on the house.
Hello everyone. I'm doing a new type of video, which is probably going to be the only one of these I'm going to do. This isn't a review, because my reviews, what I would call a review, is something that I put a lot of thought into ahead of time, and I create a structured video out of it. I've done 2 of those, and I'm going to start doing some more. This is just a little impressions video. So we just saw Disney's Star Wars Trilogy number 3, part 2 of 3 of 4 trilogies, subtitle The Last Jedi. I'm being snarky already, but I don't hate this movie. That's not strong enough. I like this movie. I'm not gonna say more than that yet. So, first of all, the main purpose of this video is not to review it, and it's not really first impressions either. What the big point I want to make is, was this movie different enough from The Empire Strikes Back? Because that is a lot of people's fears going into this movie, and a lot of people who haven't seen it yet are probably wondering that. So in order to answer that question, we have to go into spoilers. So this is our warning right now.
So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.
So how about when Luke died?
Just one more song, friend. And then so long, friend.
No, we're not going to go over this movie point by point. So let's just start by addressing the things that were very The Empire Strikes Back-ish. So this movie went a very long time without doing anything Hoth-related, and my heart sunk when I saw the opening title crawl, and it said, the rebels make a desperate escape as the First Order, I almost said the Empire, is about to destroy their last base, which is, if you'll recall, the exact same way that The Empire Strikes Back started.
I'm just here to bounce ideas off of. You might as well have a doll sitting here. You're on your own.
She did see the movie, but she is a lobotomite, so she's gonna have a hard time. By the way, I didn't even introduce you. This is my sister Carly. You might not remember her from those Undertale videos I did, because no one watched those, and I stopped uploading them. I did finish Undertale, by the way. Not important. No one cares. Anyway, so, but it doesn't begin with the Battle of Hoth. There aren't walkers closing in on the First Order. The entire first action is all in space, which was very different from The Empire Strikes Back, where there was only one short space battle sequence. But that's because they put the Battle of Hoth at the end of the movie. They just do it again. I was giving the movie so much credit for not following the structure of I'm forgetting all this. Everything in my brain is Star Wars right now, and it's this horrible amalgamation.
I dumped it all on you in the car, so there's nothing left.
You've got to repeat what you said in the car.
I don't remember what I said in the car.
You talked a lot about the birds.
Yeah, the birds were very, very adorable, and I knew that every time a bird came on screen, it was because they were trying to push merchandise, and yet they were adorable. But I knew that it was just a marketing scheme. But they were so
all of these horrible consequences that come with the age of information. And we're both trying not to be super cynical, which a lot of people are going to be doing, because there are so many things in this movie that are from the original trilogy. I'm sorry, they do it again. They do another Force Awakens. Mostly. The elements are much more split up now. In fact, for the first half of this movie, it was much more like Return of the Jedi. Aside from the training parts with Rey, which was very Empire Strikes Back, she even goes into a smoky swamp cave to confront
the dark, shadowy
the
place.
dark. She even
in her soul, but also literally a part of the mountain.
In order to have a symbolic confrontation with the Darth Vader equivalent. I don't know if that happened I feel like maybe there was a famous scene in one of the most influential movies ever made that had something kind of similar to that. That maybe something that was a little, maybe something that it would have been a good idea for them not to do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, yes, so I didn't start rolling my eyes. I only rolled my eyes once. And that was when they just do the Battle of Hoth again. But this time it's not a cold planet. There's some snow, but it's a planet with lots of salt and clay, which is different.
Yeah.
Because
and salt is coming from the sky. They even have a guy like scrape the ground and then like taste it a little bit and be like, it was salt.
It's
just
salt.
So that we know that it's not snow. It's there's salt coming from the sky.
It was like the red snow in Crimson Peak.
Yeah. Well,
because
maybe that was actually snow and the red stuff was just salt. But like, why would you have to point that out then?
Well, they're trying to make ties to Crimson Peak. Because there is a Del Toro in this movie, too. Not the same Del Toro. It's not... She doesn't get that joke. She doesn't know what Crimson Peak is. We've been saying negative things a lot.
Okay, but before we move on from the negative things, can I please just share my eye roll moment? Because it was the fucking, like, at the very end with, new girl, what's her name?
I don't know her name. There's a new girl who's, like, an engineer.
And I was okay with her.
Accompanying Finn.
I know you were not okay with her. I was okay with her. What I was not okay with was, like, that very forced, like, romantic scene at the end with her and Finn where she's like, I saved you, whatever, let me give you this kiss before it looks like I died. Okay, bye-bye. And I was like, why?
You just didn't like that because you wanted Finn to be gay for Poe. You just didn't like that because you wanted him to put his fin in his poker.
Oh, let me blow your mind right now.
You wanted him to put his finny in Poe's poker.
Finn Poe Ray OT3.
Finn Poe Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, so
but seriously, like, nothing about that made sense though.
There was no real romantic element starting, and now the Base Lord's Red Letter Media, God bless him, in the Plinkett review for The Force Awakens, he pointed out how in The Force Awakens there is no romance at all. Yeah. And people feel completely sterile, and there's no, like, it's like nobody has any sex drive, which, I mean, the original Star Wars was oozing with sex.
Yeah, oh yeah. Can't ever forget the
Leia's outfit in Return of the Jedi.
And the kiss yeah.
So there was at least some kind of romance in this movie, but I didn't fucking know there was until she kissed him. Like, I was like, oh, these two people are helping each other get this chip so that they can save the rebel fleet. But apparently he excited her vengeance. I don't. He's a handsome man, Carly.
Yeah, apparently everybody wants Finn.
everybody wants Finn to put his fin in their poker.
Okay, I need you to insert the incestual realization of Han Solo after I mentioned the kiss, because that's what I was talking about.
Wait, what?
Because Luke and Leia, like, kissed in the original.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Luke wanted to fuck his sister in those movies.
Yeah.
Luke only
Okay, that
goes
was,
to
like,
the Death Star to save Leia because he wanted to fuck his sister. And you know what? There's a part in this movie where Luke is like, I don't want to help these good guys because I want to be broody because I was I'm responsible for Kylo Ren's fall. And then R2-D2 is there in the only scene R2-D2 is in this movie, and R2-D2 says, "Do you remember when you wanted to fuck your sister?" And like, and Luke's like, "That's a low blow, man." And it's like, but then he's like, "You're right, I do want to fuck my sister." So he saves the day in the end. Okay.
That was really just an editing note, but you went on a whole rant about it.
Okay, let me talk about... Okay, so before the Battle of Hoth, I felt like this was being different enough, even though it had so many elements from the first Star Wars movies. It had, like, the confrontation against Darth the Emperor. We all remember these exciting events.
Oh, yeah,
when he was on the Death Star. It
Emperor
had that scene
Cheeseface?
again with Emperor Snoke. It had the confrontation bridge scene from Return of the Jedi. It had the swamp training scenes from The Empire Strikes Back. God damn it! Except this time it was on a beautiful Irish island, which was a fucking great idea to film there. That place was beautiful. That was off Ireland, right? Or Scotland?
I thought you said that was on fire, right? And
It was
like,
it was
no.
from one of the places where people talk funny. There was very little fire in this movie, except around the end. There was some fire.
Except the fire in space.
Let me get back to the point I was saying. Because this movie does have a different driving force than any of the other Star Wars movies, which is that this movie is a chase movie. It's like The Road Warrior, and not because it's a chase, but because a lot of people on the internet are upset that the main character is a girl. I'm sorry. No, but this was a chase movie with heist elements, which, I mean, at least they were doing something different then.
But it was like halfway done, though. It felt like...
It was a very slow chase.
No. Like the
heist part?
Yeah, it felt like... They
got a guy,
tried to go for it, and then it just didn't happen.
They got new Lando Calrissian, who was...
You know what it felt like? It felt like the DM originally had a heist planned and sent the party
they got
into
a critical failure.
No, they didn't just get one critical failure. They, like, continually got critical failures until the DM was like, you know what? Deus Ex Machina.
Luke's gonna save you now. As a surprise force.
Well, no, I'm just talking about the bits on the rich people planet.
With these exciting events with Captain Phasma again, where Captain Phasma dies again. Captain Phasma is like this elaborate joke by Disney. It's like... She's back. I'm just fucking kidding. She's dead again.
There were, like... 5 different points in the movie where I thought that they were going to write Leia's death.
Yeah, she gets sucked down into space in the beginning of this movie, and I'm like, alright, she's dead. And that would have been an okay place to kill her off. It would have really been an emotionally driving thing, and it would have been, like, put the seeds of, I'm doing them, it would have, like, put seeds of motivation, doubt into Kylo Ren, because even though he didn't kill her, he didn't stop it. But then she does the stupidest thing I've ever fucking seen.
I didn't think it was that bad.
No, it's not the stupidest thing I've ever fucking seen. I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot that I've seen Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It was. She puts her hand out and floats back to the ship. And I'm like,
she force pulls her way back to the ship.
And I'm like, shouldn't your lungs be collapsing? And and her hair is still perfectly fine, and she's like tapping on the window like, let me back in, and I'm like, bitch, you're dead.
I thought that once they did pull her back in and they got her all bandaged up or whatever and put her to intensive care that they had on the ship, I thought that like they were gonna do a thing where it looked like she might survive, but oh surprise, she's actually dead, she didn't make it. But then she made it.
Like Bill Pullman's wife in Independence Day. We all remember these exciting events. It looked like she made it, but then she died. And then Bill Pullman had to tell his daughter, your mom's asleep. We're going to have to talk about this a little more later. We all remember these. This movie is better than Independence Day. Star Wars The Last Jedi is better than Independence Day. I said this isn't going to be a review, but this movie is 1.5 Independence Days out of Independence Day. That's my final review score. Figure out what that means.
That's terrible. It was a lot better than that, okay?
Okay. 2 Independence Days out of Independence Day?
Independence Day is like a negative number, so you can't really do that.
Okay.
That doesn't work mathematically.
I think you hate Independence Day more than I do. Independence Day had a very charming main character.
I remember very little
Will
about it.
Smith is a charming man.
I just remember hating it. That's all I remember from my small mind when I was...
You know what this movie had in common with Independence Day?
What?
Luke died in both of them. Luke dies in this movie. He turns into a force. He turns into clothes.
He disintegrated of old age.
I don't know how he projects himself onto Hoth 2, Salt Hoth. And he fights Kylo Ren even though he's a projection, and then you find out he's a projection.
He astral projected.
Yeah, and you see where he's astral projecting himself, and then he just dies. He's like, I don't want to be in the next one of these. I see somebody else scream. No, that was actually pretty cool. That was a nice reveal.
Of that he wasn't actually there. Yeah,
yeah, but his fight with Kylo Ren had some weird speed up slowdown that I did not fit with Star Wars. It looked like it was a fucking Zack Snyder action
the
scene.
first time they did that, I think, was when Kylo and Rey teamed up.
There was slow motion in that?
Yeah, like just when the honor guards.
We need to talk about when Carrie Fisher got sucked into space again. There was something very important that happened then. This movie marks the return of Admiral Akbar! Woo! Yeah!
Oh
Admiral Akbar! He looks like a fish, but he's not.
Oh my god!
He has really big eyes.
So happy.
He's my favorite meme.
I saw him again and I clapped. Oh my god!
I love the way you said it's a trap.
Just the best.
He's in this movie again.
Oh, he was the best. Favorite.
He was in the worst movie of the original trilogy, and I loved it.
Oh, favorite character.
Oh my god!
Oh, please.
But he dies. Hey, was Admiral Akbar in the last one? I think he might have been in The Force Awakens. I'm pretty sure Admiral Akbar was in The Force Awakens. I forgot he was in The Force Awakens. Yes, dicks out for Akbar. Truly the most sad death in Star Wars.
I didn't even realize he died.
He gets blown up and sucked into space.
I didn't notice at all.
Carly, Admiral Akbar was like the greatest, most depthful character in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
How fucking dare you forget about the time he said that it was a trap? Like, let's talk about that for a second. Fucking duh, it was a trap. Did you think you could... Did you think there wouldn't be defenses around the fucking Death Star? Admiral Akbar is the worst admiral ever. I'm glad he died. He's a fucking idiot. Go ahead and write in the comments about how, in this book, Admiral Akbar did this really clever thing. Shut the fuck up, I hate your books. All those books are worthless now. Disney destroyed them. Admiral Akbar is a shitty character. And you know what? The Mon Calamari are garbage people. They're a pussy race. They're a bunch of fish-faced little pieces of...
Are you done?
Carly, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why was C-3PO in this movie?
That's a very good question.
Okay, moving on.
Idea.
All right. So we've talked about the bridge scene. We've revealed everything else. We gave extensive warning about spoilers. So Snoke gets fucking killed in this movie.
Yeah,
he
and
gets
Kylo's the
Darth
one that
Mauled.
kills him.
And they did a thing where it could have been really clever the way that Snoke got killed.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about how he was seeing what was happening in Kylo Ren's mind. And he was reading his mind, and the things he was reading was actually true. He's saying he's taking the lightsaber, and he's about to strike down his true enemy.
It was just like a half-truth.
Yeah, and it's like... It's kind of like in Yu Yu Hakusho when Yusuke's fighting the psychic.
Oh,
and he
is
says
it nerd?
And he says he's going to make
like?
a straight right. That's how you fight psychics, Carly. You think exactly what you're going to do, but there's something different about what you're doing. And so, like when Yusuke punched that guy, but he said he was going to fall short right before he hit his face.
Tell me more about this anime from the 1990s, you nerd.
Stopped. It was the only good anime ever! Anime is shit and I love that show! I hate anime! But okay. So they had a clever setup for how Snoke was gonna die, which, by the way, they destroyed Starkiller Base in the first movie. Then they destroyed Snoke in this one. Both of those were fucking surprises. I didn't think they were gonna fucking destroy the new Death Star again and then leave themselves with no threat for this movie, and now they've just destroyed the other threat they were building up, so now it's just Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Which, predictions right now...
Oh, no. Kylo Ren and Ginger Nazi.
Ginger Nazi.
You can't forget Ginger Nazi.
Oh, we forgot about Ginger Nazi. We forgot to talk about him. Let's talk about all the memorable moments that Ginger Nazi had in this movie. There was that part where he was kind of upset that Kylo Ren killed Snoke. Yeah. And he was like, why'd you do that? And Kylo Ren was like, I did it because I killed him. Oh, yeah. And then Ginger Nazi said, okay, I guess maybe that's okay.
I remember.
Do you remember the scene where Ginger Nazi was like...
I remember so clearly.
Where Kylo Ren was like, fire all the lasers. And then Ginger Nazi was like, fire all the lasers because he wanted to be the one in command. But Kylo Ren was the one in command.
This is really deep character
It was a really deep
development. You gotta really...
Do you remember the part where he walked on screen and his eyebrows were the only thing in frame?
Okay, actually, what? Like, no.
He has gigantic ego raptor eyebrows in this fucking... There was a scene where they're covering his whole face and he like blinks and they go... What the fuck?
Oh, but actually... I did really like some of the humor in this movie. It felt kind of different. Mostly, I knew I would enjoy it from, like, the very first scene where Poe flies up and he's like, patch me in. And then Ginger Nazi is like, gives this big old speech. Yeah,
they're having this banter.
And then Poe's
he's
like,
he can't hear him.
Hello? Can you hear me? Like... And they're just like... It's like, who would fall for that, though? Only Ginger Nazi.
That's right. We forgot about that memorable moment.
That was the only memorable moment with Ginger Nazi.
This character that we all love.
Yeah. He's a very compelling villain,
There's like nothing
Spencer.
in my brain but Star Wars right now. They went to this casino, which was like the only visually distinct thing in this movie from the other Star Wars movies. This casino looked different from the other Star Wars movies, and I was like, hey, that's something different. And then I started thinking about Cloud City, and I was like, oh, wow, it's kind of like that. And then I started thinking about Sleaze Bagano from from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, when Obi-Wan was in the bar fighting Zam Weasel, or whatever the fuck that bitch's name was. And Sleaze Bagano was like, hey, do you want to maybe buy some drugs from me? And Obi-Wan was like, get your shit together. We all remember these exciting events from Star Wars Episode 2, The Clone Wars, from the animated show. When that episode where Bosk, the bounty hunter, was like, I'm gonna track down all these Jedi so I can get these credits. And then Ginger not too bad, was like, I don't know what's happening right now. There's nothing in my brain in Star Wars. So then there was this character. There was this new character in the movie. His name was... There was a new character in the movie. His name was I don't remember, but he was played by the collector guy from, not from Mass Effect, the other collector, the guy from the Marvel movies. And he was like, I can get you into this ship. I have the abilities. I've got the, I can get you in. Just give me this pendant. I don't even remember anything about this movie. 3.5 stars out of 4.5. Fuck you.
It's not the end, friend. If you're a friend, then you'll come back to me soon. But it's too late, pal, to celebrate, pal. You'll have to wait, pal. Don't you cry. Now it's good night, friend. Good night, friend.